JP Morgan says these 10 stocks will be underperformers. What do you think? DG,
Dollar General,
MCD,
Mickey D's,
TGT,
Target.
Microsoft,
Yep.
ZM, Zoom,
Yep.
REGN,
Regeneron,
mRNA,
Moderna,
LLY,
Eli Lilly,
EXC,
Elon is Ilion. Keep going.
and
I'll type it in.
D.
Dominion Energy.
Yep.
EXC is Alexon Corporation.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah. So Dollar General, amazing stats, by the way. Dollar General, solid. If we had a recession, Dollar Generals are usually solid. So McDonald's is good, Target is good, Microsoft, amazing, Zoom, tough. Regeneron is solid. Moderna, they're in a tough spot. They're like in between. They're like when an athlete who gets injured and you don't know if they're going to come back and be as strong as they were. Fauci going to have to pull off another little finesse here pretty soon to pump them up. Lilly's solid, but when we go to the chart on EXC, when I was looking at it, this is a disaster. So if you guys look, pull up real quick. And this is why, remember last year when I kept telling you guys, hey, if the all-time high is not recent, I don't want to touch it. I want everyone to go look at when was their most recent all-time high. If you look at the entire history of their stock, it was in 2008 at $92.13, and it got all the way up to 56, and it is on a free fall right now. So it's falling from the 60s down to the 40s in an instant. That's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. I mean, in 1 month, it fell from $57 down to $41.63. So if you were holding it, you had $20,000 in there, $50,000 in there, you would be crying. So be careful. Microsoft to be good, Target to be great, McDonald's would be great. Zoom I don't like. Lilly is solid. If you hold those for a long term, you're great. But EXC don't touch. Please don't. And I know it's attractive to buy because there's so much off the highs, but some companies don't recover fast enough, and there's other places where you can put your money to get a better gain.
So
yeah, I mean, does it? I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? If you think about Regeneron, Moderna, Eli Lilly, all these, you've seen all these rise as COVID.
That's the use case.
The use case, right? And as we haven't seen, and thank God we haven't seen a new variant since Omicron. Obviously, there's been a slight drawdown. I mean, hopefully we don't see another one, but I mean, it makes sense.
Well, let's talk about a few of these. Let's talk about the Moderna situation since we're on it. We never actually got a chance to speak about this, but the CEO, I think it was 2 weeks ago, sold a large position of stock. I think it was $400 million or something like that. And then I believe he left Twitter after that. So Moderna is one of these companies that had a meteoric rise during the pandemic.
That's the perfect word.
Obviously, because they were one of the companies that came out with a vaccine, and then they fell pretty bad. So their highs was in the 450, 430.
I see 440, 441.
And now they're at 147.
Yep, 145.
CEO sold a lot of stock. Interesting situation. Corona is still not going anywhere. It's probably be a thing where it's a seasonal type of flu situation. So this seems like a vaccine will be an ongoing business. So how do you feel about Moderna?
We're getting into a tricky situation because when 3 days ago they put out a report that he didn't actually sell 400 million. Now he did delete his account, but when you guys go look at the filings, they're saying that it was a news site that reported that news. So when I tell you guys there's a game inside of a game, I can't prove it. But if there is a hedge fund looking to build a position against them, and then Moderna should come down, absolutely. But if you send out news like that, of course, it's going to induce a certain level of fear, and people are going to want to get rid of it. And then on Twitter, I hate to say it, everyone's not fact checking, so the news flew like crazy, right? And as a result, it did tumble down. I think that the real price of Moderna should settle around like 175 and then make its way back up. When it got to 497, it's one of the picks in Stock Club. I told people like when to start taking some profit off of it. Great run, but anything that goes up really fast tends to come back down. Everything is, if I can be honest, everything is going back to the prices where you should be looking to buy. So when everyone last year was just buying anywhere and they're like, I don't want to wait. Everyone around me is making money. I'm like, so is everyone with PPP, and all that money's gone, right? So now we get back to a normal market. I think Moderna will be fine. It's not, I wouldn't say that they're top 3 in that class at all, but they are a good 4th, if you will. I think they'll be fine. They'll recover, but the news definitely did affect them. And to whatever hedge fund put out that news and got that to float out, job well done.
Yeah.
Job well done.
Yeah, we're starting to see a lot of these companies, a lot of these stocks go back to pre-pandemic pricing. And so like it hasn't got all the way back down to the 60s, but we've seen it. And it's like, all right, people are still wondering, is this the time? Is this the time? Well, if you were looking in 2020 and like, all right, it's run up pretty high, and then it had that run, obviously, a lot of these companies had a meteoric rise during the pandemic, and they've now come back to the point. But Ian's saying, I agree with this. Like, all right, they've come to a buy point. They've come back to you.
Here's a crazy concept. Companies that go up really fast that don't have incredible revenue and incredible net profit shouldn't stay at prices higher than Microsoft and Apple. It's not like, it's like Forbes 400 putting us above Jay-Z because they like us more. Like 2020 was just a bunch of theatrics. And like I said, everyone was chasing profit, hedge funds included. I told you guys about Wall Street bets, even in the crypto space. A lot of people that work in funds are acting as individual retail traders or investors. And they're saying it was a big retail movement, but they're taking the information from inside of the castle and then putting it online to benefit from it and then walking away. We're just getting back to a place of normalcy. That's why I tell you guys, if you look at the averages, we'll do 7 to 15%. Great. Crypto will do 25 to maybe 48%. We're just back in normal ranges. 2020 was an exception based on what was happening in the world at the time.
So as far as a couple more of those stocks, some consumer discretionary stocks that they listed in that underperforming list, Target and McDonald's, both are interesting. I think both are in XLY. So why do you think, I'm asking about Microsoft also, but why would you think that, especially Target and Dollar General, those are discount stores, why would they be listed as something that could potentially underperform? And most people, they would think that those kind of stores will actually do good in an economic downturn because people will start saving money, and Dollar, General and Target will do better because they're cheaper.
I agree. It was JP Morgan. Shout out to everybody, JP Morgan. It was JP Morgan said it was underperforming. I think Target, Walmart, and Dollar Tree, Dollar General, those are going to boom during a recession because of, like you said, if people don't have money, you're going to look to every place that you can go to save money.
Those are like those inflation battle stores, right? Like, I don't have money to spend here. Where can I get the best bang for my dollar?
Yes,
probably over here. And so,
if you're a parent,
exactly.
Like, I mean, we all got kids. Like, I don't want to go to Gucci and get diapers. Let me go get the bundle from Target, right? And get the wipes and all that. Like, you have to save money. So those places are safe havens if you don't have money during a crisis where you'll be able to go and see the traffic pick up. One thing that is very troubling, though, and you guys can tell me what it's like over there before I get there. Here in the States, even the traffic outside isn't as heavy as it used to be. Stores are dry. That is very telling. Like, I told Stock Club last week, like, just being in the airport, my favorite thing to do is go to Starbucks and Apple every time I'm in the airport and ask them how sales were. Man, I was leaving out of LA, and I was like, yeah, Starbucks is doing good, Apple's doing good, a couple other places are doing good, everywhere else is dry. I was like, that's not good. It's not good. So when you guys are going out, just look at the foot traffic and then Google what the average sales price is for a product for that company, and then you can see if the numbers that they're reporting are actually reflective of what they're doing. So how do you call it the eye test? Like, and maybe other podcasts that you guys hear about, we was talking about it, but it's like, I don't hear certain people talking about certain things. That is very true. Like, you have to have your ear to the street. So be very careful. But yeah, Target, Walmart would be great. Yeah, and also, I mean, if you look historically, based on how Target pays their employees and they underpay, Target is one of the biggest welfare recipients in the history of the United States. So there's a certain cushion that they have in based on those low prices as well. Like it's a genius, sinister model. But kudos to everybody at Walmart. Love you guys.
Any idea why they would list Microsoft as a company that they think would underperform?
I don't want to upset anybody there. I don't know. Maybe it was a typo. I have no clue. Nicole, tell us. I don't know. Get somebody off the desk to tell me. Because I think Microsoft has the most indestructible business right now. Honestly. Even more so than Apple. The moats that they have around their business. And they're not even optimized. Microsoft and Apple don't even do social well. Think about how crazy that is. They don't do that well. They don't do any community events at scale very well. Like, it's a bunch of opportunities that they have, and with the recent acquisitions, man, they're going to be good. So I don't know, but I'll bet my life Microsoft will be good as long as their CEO remains in that seat.
It could be one of these we don't believe in crypto, and then they become the first bank inside the metaverse type situations. Shout out to JP. We love everybody over there.
You got to give them credit for adapting, but I say even in 2016, they were saying that in the States, and then where you guys are, that trading desk was buying up Bitcoin like crazy. You guys should go look at like what the average price that they average in on the London side for JP Morgan. I think they're like in the 9,000s on Bitcoin.
I think I sent you a DM, like somebody capping.
It's a classic example. Like if this is going to be the hottest thing, and like EYL Red Panda Supreme do a collab, and it's $15,000 for a towel, right? Supreme is crazy, but they'll get it done. Why would we tell them that's the move that we're going to make? You guys have to learn, even in business, there's a lot of showmanship. And if you guys have watched Billions, a lot of times they'll throw you off the track. Even Charlie Munger doesn't like crypto. Watch how Buffett and Berkshire will move heavy into crypto next year, just for the exposure to hedge, just in case. People will say one thing and do another, but you got to give them credit for adapting.
My graduates from my school being Forbes, bag drop.
Bag drop.
A mic drop, bag drop.
Bag drop.